All right. Well, welcome to the IU Hoops halftime report. Your Indiana Hoosiers down 40-34 to St. Francis here at halftime. Needless to say, not a good performance from Indiana there in the first half. And I think it's fine that, Archie Miller got mad at the officials there at the end. I tend to agree with the analysis on the broadcast that it wasn't really a foul on Finney, although it looked like it. Certainly didn't seem like a foul the other way, so at least be consistent there. But boy, I hope he saves some of that ire for his own team at halftime, because outside of a nice little stretch there at the beginning, Indiana gets down 7-2, Archie calls timeout. Really looked like the guys responded well out of that timeout. They went on that 9-0 run, hit a couple of threes going inside out. Juwan Morgan got a little and one. But boy, after that, it was just kind of methodical by St. Francis, kind of picking Indiana apart. The Hoosiers led 20-13 at the under 12-minute timeout, had won the first segment 11-7, the second segment 9-6. St. Francis won each of the final three segments of the half, 7-2, 10-5, 10-7. And it's not a big mystery why. Like, they are playing harder than Indiana. Too many possessions where Indiana's on-ball defense hasn't been competitive, where we really haven't competed for rebounds. How many offensive rebounds does St. Francis have in the first half? They have 7 offensive rebounds in the second half, 8 second chance points. Given the size advantage that we have on them, that's unacceptable. I mean, that just shouldn't be happening. The fact that a guy like King is making shots, I'm not totally surprised by that. If you listen to Banner Monday, if you listen to some of the things I've been saying about this game, they've got some guys that can make shots. They've got some guys that can score some points. Should they have 40 points? Should they be scoring 1.08 points per possession? No. And some of the looks they've gotten have been way too good. And in fact, the fact that we're down by 6 and they haven't really gotten cooking from the three-point line, they're only 3 for 11, that's concerning for the second half. Because I really thought the only way that they would stay in this game is if our defense was a little leaky, they got some open three-point opportunities and they made them. But they're just playing better. I mean, they're playing harder and they're playing better right now, and I don't really know what else to say about it. It's extremely disappointing. Juwan Morgan has 7 points. He's 3 of 6 from the field, but his 3 misses were some of the most lackadaisical layups that we've ever seen from him. This is not the Rutgers Juwan Morgan today. Not in the slightest. I think it's interesting that Zach McRoberts is +7. He's the biggest plus-minus for Indiana in his 6 minutes. Didn't score, but, what does Zach McRoberts gives you? He gives you hustle, and boy, when some of the other guys have been in there, you just haven't seen that. Like, I think Al Durham has made some nice plays. I think he's taken it hard to the basket. He's played pretty well defensively. Devontae Green has 9 points. I think he's doing a pretty decent job rebounding, has a couple of assists, but his on-ball defense hasn't been good. He's guarded King for several of the possessions where King, has been able to make shots. Same with Rob Finney. Rob Finney had one possession where he really extended his defense out on King, but then doesn't finish the possession, gives up the rebound, and they end up scoring on it. So, look, there is no real mystery here for this game what Indiana needs to do. The Hoosiers need to play harder, and they need to go inside. Indiana 4 of 13 from downtown. I think we made our first 3 or 3 of our first 4, and then we started settling. And sometimes making a few early threes for Indiana is not a good thing. We've seen it happen before in first halves, and then we come out in second halves and really go down, get ready to establish it down low. I mean, we definitely have to do that here, because if we just keep jacking up threes and are making them at our usual clip, you're going to play right into St. Francis's hands. And guys, they are the 330th ranked defense in the country. Come on. Drive to the basket, get the ball inside, and be strong. Juwan Morgan and Deron Davis should feast on these guys. And instead, they're being very lackadaisical, not going up strong, and so they're missing shots. This is one of the worst two-point defenses in the country. So the second half is going to be all about attitude. It's going to be all about mindset. If we come in and play hard, if we come out to impose our will and just get the ball down low, we will win this game. But, St. Francis has proven, like, they're here to play. They haven't had some fluky shooting. None of really of what they've done has been fluky. They've just played a little bit harder, and one of their guys has made a bunch of shots in King. Hey, tip your hat to them. Those guys really came out to play well and to try and win an NIT game. And Indiana, outside of a really short stretch, just hasn't. So this game was always going to come down to attitude. It was always going to come down to effort. And Indiana, for probably 15 minutes of that first half, was not ready to compete in a tournament game. So extremely, extremely disappointing performance on all levels, top down. And again, if you're the coach and you're going to get a technical there at the end that allows them to extend their lead like that. And look, we've wanted him to get a technical, and maybe that gives him some momentum to get fired up and go into halftime and get the guys going. Fine. But man, that fire better translate to the team, or it is not going to matter at all. And all you did was cost yourself a few points. So no, I don't really have much else to say. I don't really know that there is much else to say. Indiana just has to come out and play better, or this is going to be just an awful, awful end to a season that none of us are going to want to think about for a long time. So hopefully that's not how this team goes out. Hopefully Indiana can get a little bit more from its bench in the second half, and hopefully Indiana can get more from its starters, and hopefully someone like Juwan Morgan, who has talked to these guys about, how bad it was, in 2017, losing an NIT game. Well, hopefully he uses some of that memory to fuel him to come out and play like Juwan Morgan. Because if he does that, he can put Indiana on his back, and Indiana can still win this game by 15, 20 points in the second half. But not playing the way he played. Because the way that he played, and kind of the one stretch when he played hard and well, that's when Indiana played hard and well. And when he was kind of lackadaisical, and then obviously he had to leave, so hopefully he's healthy and his ear is okay. But anyway. Important second half for Indiana. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it does feel like an important second half for this program. Like, are you just going to let St. Francis come in here and punk you on your home court? It's not going to be a good way to start the offseason. So let's go, Hoosiers. We're better than this. Let's go out there and prove it in the second half, or it is going to be a post-game show that I don't want to be a part of. I will be a part of it, but I won't want to be a part of it. So Andy will be there. Coach will be there. Hope you guys will join us after the game, and we will talk to you then. Go inside, Hoosiers. Go inside.